This episode is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the #1 seller of games and gaming accessories. And GatheringMagic.com, the #1 resource for Magic the Gathering news and articles.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the very first edition of Drafting with Big Nass, Evason Restored Edition. Going into this draft as cold can be. I haven't really played this format very much. I did like one sealed at the pre-release, and I've done a couple drafts with my friends. I'll be honest. Every time I've played this format, I haven't really enjoyed it that much. But we're still going to give it a fair chance. We're still going to draft it a bunch of times. So, based on what I've read from other people, consensus among pros is that black is the worst color. So we're going to try to shy away from that. But let's see what we open here. So this seems like a risky card. But it's still really good. And despite black being the worst color, it seems like most of the good cards in this pack are black. Let's see what else we have here. Seraph of Dawn is actually one of my favorite commons in the set. It's also one of the reasons that I think aggro decks are almost unviable. Because no aggro deck is beating a Seraph of Dawn. It's just not happening. So let's see what else is in here that we could possibly take. Into the Void seems really good, and blues is my favorite color in the set, mostly because of Mist Raven. Lightning Prowess seems good as well. Okay. Well, this is just a huge man, so I'm gonna try taking it. It might be a mistake, I don't know. Alright, so Banishing Stroke is a good one. Human Frailty is also decent, although I suspect it's going to be much better constructed than Limited. There's going to be a bunch of decks where it just doesn't do much against. Deathwind is another good one. So, in my mind, it's between the Deathwind and the Banishing Stroke. I think I want to stay on color and stick with the Deathwind, although I do think Banishing Stroke is a better card. So let's give that a try. Okay, Blessings of Nature. Like most miracle cards, it's really good if you miracle it, but if you play full retail for it, it's not that great. Let's see. I like Scrapskin Drake a lot, but I'm not sure how open blue's going to be yet, and I kind of just want to stick to one color for now. Searchlight Guy seems decent. There's not too many like cheap flyers in the format, so I realize I'm looking at two right now, but I do like, because I have Demon Lord. I'm going to want to make sure that I have a bunch of other creatures that I can sacrifice to it, and we're looking for other cards that actually, like, if I sacrifice them, I get some value off of them. So I don't see anything that fits that criteria now, so I'm just going to take the cheap creature. That might be wrong, but I'm not sure. Okay. Well, looks like white is fairly open if we're getting a Seraph of Dawn 4th pick. What else could we get? Corpse Traders is okay. Mental Agony seems okay. Ghoulflesh is actually playable. There's a lot of 1 toughness creatures that you're going to want to kill, and there's hardly any removal in the set, so it's gonna make your deck almost every time. But I think I'm just going to slam down the Seraph of Dawn here, just because this card is so good. Okay, I guess people don't like Lightning Prowess. The card seems fine. Again, there's not a whole lot of removal in the set, so you're usually safe to just stick this on most creatures. Dreadwaters is kind of a funny one. I lost a game in the pre-release, or one of my friends, he just like double Dreadwaters me for 16 cards on turn 8. And I'm like, oh, I guess I lose. So Grave Exchange seems decent, but it's a little on the expensive side, and I want to make sure I pick up a bunch of cheap creatures. So I'm gonna pick. I think I'm gonna pick up the Crypt Keeper here. All right, what else do we get? Soul Cage Fiend seems pretty good for what we're trying to do, but Undead Executioner definitely looks better. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Looks like black is very open. So let's go ahead and pick that up. Like I realize it's the worst color, but it's like it's still like it's not unplayable, and if no one else is drafting it, we're just gonna get all the best cards. Unhallowed Pack is not that great. Grave Exchange again is playable. Heirs of Stromkirk is really good actually. So I'm not sure if we're gonna end up being black white or black red. I think I'm probably just going to stick with the Grave no, that seems bad. Like, Heirs of Stromkirk is powerful enough that I'm willing to pass up a Grave Exchange for it. Alright, so what else we got here? We have Bone Splinters and Marrow Bats. Marrow Bats is just, I mean, 4-power flyer is quite significant, especially one that has regeneration. But because there's so little removal in the format, like cards like Bone Splitters, while they're not that great, we want to pick them up because again we don't have very many options, and we're going to be looking for cards that give us some value for sacrificing creatures. Like there's a 2-mana zombie that has Undying. We're going to want to pick up. And we tabled the Demonic Taskmaster, so that pretty much tells us that no one in this draft is drafting black, because this is quite good. So let's go ahead and pick that up. Not sure what our second color is going to be yet. Hopefully we open a bomb in either white or red, and that just makes our decision really easy. We've picked up a fair amount of creatures, though. We have 5 black creatures, and like 3 of them are 3 mana or less. So that's where we want to be. So what else we got here? Batter's Raise is not really playable. That's not playable. This is not really playable. I guess the most playable card here is Rain of Thorns. That's another thing that someone like a lot of people have said about this format is there's a lot of the cards are just so bad that you're like there's not enough playables. Like you really got to make sure you have enough playables for your deck. These cards are all pretty bad. I'm just going to take this just so I don't randomly lose to it. Like, we have 2 demons for the demonic scroll or whatever it's called, but the card is still pretty bad. Okay. So Ghoul Flesh or Mental Agony. I'm gonna go with the Ghoul Flesh. I mean it's crappy removal, but it's still removal. So what are the drafts I did do? I did play a black-red deck. 0-3'd with it. The deck was fine, but it just didn't come together right, and yeah, it just did not look very good. The loner mechanic, like you really need to set up your whole deck for the loner. I think you really need that enchantment that gives your creatures +3/+1 and lifelink if it's your own creature. Without that, I really don't think that archetype is going to work out too well. So we picked up a late Grave Exchange there. So again, it looks like we're in the right color to be. Okay, let's open an on-color bomb, or a red bomb, or a white bomb. I'll even take a green or a blue bomb. It's not like we're heavily leaning towards either one of these 2 colors. Okay, well there's a white bomb, but I mean we're never gonna cast it, and it's like yeah we're never gonna cast it because that makes our mana horrible, and Like it doesn't, like the effect doesn't even do anything for us. So, what else is in this pack that we could take? That's not good. We could take another Taskmaster. And the rest of this pack doesn't really seem that great. Could take a Defang. Actually, that might be the pick anyway. Trusted Force Mage is pretty good. I'm reasonably confident that this Taskmaster is going to table. I mean, the last one did. So I'm going to pick up the Defang here. I mean, I realize it's a crappy pacifism, but it's one of White's two best commons. I think it's between this and Seraph of Dawn. So yeah, I'm gonna pick this up. Hopefully we do end up with a decent black-white deck. Let's take a look here. Yeah, the green one, the green Triumph enchantment is a lot better than the black one. But I really want to take this Mist Raven. Mist Raven is just so good. You could also take Gang of Devils. That's another decent one, but there's no really good white card in this pack. Cloud Shift is decent, but we don't have any cards that interact well with it. What about Wild Defiance? Yeah, that's not that great. I think I'm gonna pick up the Mist Raven here, and because again we only have 2 white cards, and there's not really any white or black cards I want to take. And I'd rather take a Mist Raven over a Gang of Devils, just because I love Mist Raven. It's really, really good. Okay, so could take a Fettergeist, who's a very, very good man, but I'm not sure how good it's going to be in our deck. Whereas Undead Executioner is we know for a fact that's going to be really good in our deck. We want creatures that if we sacrifice them, we get really good value, and this fits the bill perfectly. So I'm really not expecting Fettergeist to table. Butcher Ghoul does not seem very good, but it's in this type of deck it actually works out quite well. So I'm going to pick up the Undead Executioner under the presumption that Butcher Ghoul is going to table. Okay, so what do we got here? Necrobite is actually pretty good. I mean, it's a black only Gaze of the Gorgon, and Gaze of the Gorgon was a decent card. I'm not sure how much they're going to be blocking, so I don't know how good it is in this format. Could also take Human Frailty. Atlas is not really playable. Looking for any like other cards that we could play. I think I'm actually going to pick up this Amass the Components. It's going to be our second blue card, so we're going to be looking to be like black-blue, but this card is really good. Like Concentrate is, I mean, even if you're pitching a card is really good. Like it's getting to see 3 fresh cards, so I'm gonna pick that up, and hopefully blue continues to be somewhat open. So here's another card that gives us value when it dies. Not really interested in Essence Harvest. I do love Horned Turtle, but I think we really want Driver of the Dead here. We're getting a lot of 4-drops here, so I think we're gonna want to picking up cheaper creatures. Okay, so this gives us another sack outlet. I mean, not that we're really looking for sack outlets, but I mean, this card's it's decent, so yeah, I like it. I'm gonna pick it up. Okay. Seems like an easy pick, Crypt Keeper. Brains! Okay. So our choice here is Soul Cage Fiend or Soul Cage Fiend. Obviously we would take the foil, duh. Okay. Well, I'm not really interested in Hunted Ghoul. So I think I'm going to pick up the Mental Agony. I mean, that's a decent card. And looks like white is completely dried up. I guess the only card we could play here is Trying for Cruelty, so actually Fleeting Distraction seems better. I'd rather have something that just cycles. And let's see here. This card's probably good against this, but whatever. I don't actually care. I'm just gonna rare draft, I guess, because none of these cards are really that playable. This is the most playable card, and I don't really care if people get their naturalizes. Okay, so how many flying creatures do we have, actually? Probably not enough to make favorable winds playable. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Necrobite here. This card's playable. Like I shouldn't be getting it 14th pick. I mean, it definitely wasn't the 14th worst card in that pack. Alright, so I would like to be blue-black. So let's hide the non-blue-black cards, and let's hide some of the cards we don't want to play. Moonsilver Spear. That's quite the equip cost. So that's, I mean, again, this set doesn't have a whole lot of removals, so in this format it's probably really good. Our other options are something like Blood Artist or Deathwind. Let's see. Well, based on how this draft is going, we'll probably table one of these two cards. We didn't get to table our Undying Zombie, which I think is very strange. What's this guy do again? No, it seems okay. Well, normally I hate cards like this just because you're spending a ton of mana, and if they have any sort of trick, like you just wasted your whole turn, or in some cases 2 turns. But because this format is so removal light, I think this card is actually going to end up being really good. So I'm gonna take it. Again, I'm not totally sure that's actually good. So what else we got here? What does this do? Seems okay. That doesn't seem playable. I don't really want 2 Necrobites. Wow, there's just not a whole lot here. Might be second picking a Narstad Scrapper. Yeah. I mean, this card is actually playable, just, again, because there's so few, like, decent cards. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the Scrapper. Okay, we can pick up another Undead Executioner. Druid's Familiar is really good, and if we were in green, we would definitely slam that guy down. Lightning Mauler seems also really good. But, yeah, we're probably just going to take our third Undead Executioner. Okay, so what else we got here? Land Death. Okay. Yeah, we're not trying to make a loner deck, so Predator's Gambit is not what we're looking for. Could take another Ghoul Flesh. I think the pick here is actually Wingcrafter. This card's actually pretty good. I mean, it's better than it seems. Could also take Galvanic Alchemist. I mean, having a blue 1-drop kind of makes our mana awkward. But, I think it'll be fine. Yeah, it's going to be fine. Haithu. Yeah, Blood Artist. I mean, it works out well in this deck. I'm hoping that other Blood Artist tables, although that's a little ambitious. Let's see. Doesn't do a whole lot for us, but I think Ghostly Flicker is going to be better. It's always nice to have a few tricks. Geist Snatch or Driver of the Dead? I feel like we have enough creatures. Yeah, I mean, for the sake of having some card variety, I'm going to pick up the Guy Snatch. And let's see. I think I'd rather have a Crypt Keeper over a Soul Cage Fiend, just so we have like a bunch of creatures we can get back with our Driver of the Dead. And like we have enough 3-drops already. Okay. Nothing too exciting here. We have enough creatures, so I'm not going to need to play Polluted Dead. Wow, these cards are all so bad. Yeah, I guess I'll take the Polluted Dead, but I don't think I'm going to end up playing it. Okay, some more awful cards. Guess I'll pick up a second Necrobite, although I don't think I'll play it. Yeah, like I'm not interested in Scroll of Gristlebrand. I guess I'll just take another Guise of Fire. Okay, so some cards didn't table that I thought would table, just based on how Pack 1 went. But we'll put this together and we'll see you guys in a few seconds here. Alright, so this is where we're going to be submitting. We actually ended up having more than enough playables, so we didn't have to play like junk like Nastrad Scrapper or anything like that. The couple of the late cuts I made were Mental Agony and Ghostly Flicker. Mental Agony is decent, but we have a ton of 4-mana cards, so I mean I had to cut some of them, and I mean that was easily the worst one. Also cut Ghostly Flicker because I kind of realized that I don't have any enter the battlefield effects. All of my effects occur when something dies. So this Ghostly Flicker only really does something. I mean, I can make like surprise blockers, or I can save something from removal, but that's not really good enough to play. Also, not playing Guy Snatch again because we have too many 4-mana cards. So like it's going to be very obvious if we're just sitting at with 4-mana. Like if we pass with turn 4 with 4-mana up. I mean, if they have like some crazy bomb, I may want to side this in to counter it. So if they have like Avacyn or one of the like the mythic rare angels or something like that, we might side that in. I'm only playing one Necrobite again. I don't want to overload on these cards. And other than that, we're not playing any of the 5-drops because they're all pretty bad. So I think this deck is fine. Again, I'm not too excited to be a black deck, but at least we have some powerful cards. This Demon Lord of Ashmouth hopefully will end up being really good. And we have a lot of cards that work well with it, like Undead Executioner and Soul Cage Fiend and stuff like that. So hopefully that works out, and we'll see you guys in round 1. Peace.